In this video, I'm going to release the triangular arbitrage bot for Kucoin spot exchange. Now, I made two more videos on this topic and I suggest you to watch part 1 and part 2 before watching this one. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description box where you can download the zip file. And once you download and extract the zip file, these are the contents inside that folder. So you'll have an executable file for each operating system, and you also have a pre-builds folder. I suggest you to keep the pre-builds folder as it is. It contains some modules which are required for these executable files to run properly. So just leave it like that, and depending on your operating system, in my case it's Windows, so just double click the file that's relevant to your operating system. So just do that, and you need to open this URL in the browser to start the bot. Let's do that. So this is the interface that you'll be greeted with. Now, if you go back to the folder, you will see that two additional folders got created, which is config.db and tradesdb. So leave this folder as it is. In this version of the bot, we are going to keep the data persistent, as in the config that you set or the trades that are executed are all stored in this database, so that when you close this, this black screen, black window, and open it again, open the bot again, then the data is not lost. So everything is right here. So it's just really convenient, and it allows you to keep track of your trades and all that stuff. Okay, so this is the interface. It's very similar to version 2. So on the top you have the configuration, and below that you have two different tabs. One is opportunities and the other one is trades. So this bot allows you to run in two different modes. In mode 1, if you just want to look at opportunities and you don't want to trade, you can run it in that mode, where you can set the settings and you will see all the opportunities here, just like version 2. And if you want to trade, you can put in your API keys and turn on the bot that allows you to trade when there's an opportunity. So I'll show you in detail how to use that. So let's first run it in mode 1, where you just see the opportunities. So we'll start with USDT market, just like we did with version 2. So USDT market, I want to see opportunities for, let's say, $100, and I want to show the top 5 entries. All the other fields are applicable for automated trading. So I'll just leave it as it is for now and just hit apply. And when you do that, the bot is connecting to the Kucoin exchange to identify all the paths and do all the calculations. So the good thing about this version compared to version 2 is you don't have to go back to the black screen anymore. So all the relevant updates are provided in terms of notification, so that it's very easy for you to navigate and use this tool. Okay, so you can see the results are displayed on the screen, and again, trading fees are not included here. So whatever you're seeing is exclusive of trading fees, but it's not a hindrance, because when you do automated trading, there's a field called profit threshold, where you can set a higher value which is inclusive of trading fees, thereby you're not getting affected by the trading fees amount. So this is how you run it in mode 1, where you just see the opportunities. You can do this for not just USDT, but any other base market. So if I want to try with Ethereum and I want to see the opportunities for one Ethereum and show the top, let's say, 20 results, you could do that. Just hit apply, and the bot will re-establish all the necessary connections and do all the calculations and stuff, and shows you the result for Ethereum. So let's wait for a few seconds, and there you go. So these are the results for Ethereum. Now, some people have been asking me, why does it show negative results here? So again, even though it's showing negative results, you don't really trade those. They only show up here because we set the value to top 20 results. And, even so, I could make the negative values totally disappear, but I think it's helpful to have them here, because you would know what the best entries are, right? It gives you an expectation of on what the profitability is for a particular market. Okay. Now, in order to run it in automated trading mode, you need to fill in these other fields. So let's say I want to set the profit threshold to, I want to do this for USDT market. So I'll change it back to USDT, and I want to trade with 25 US dollars and show the top 5 results. Then we need to set these other fields. So I'll set the profit threshold as, let's say, 0.05%. Let's just set it to 0.1%. And I just want to do one trade, and max concurrent is again 1. So let me explain what these two values are. Max total. So whenever you apply this configuration, that creates a new session in the bot, and the max value that you set here, right? So the bot would only execute that many trades. So if I set it to 1, then the bot would only execute 1 trade. If I set it to 5, then the bot would only execute 5 trades. So this is like a safety check, so that you don't keep continuously trading every opportunity that you get. So this is like a bottleneck, if you will, so that you're not trading continuously. The second setting, a safety mechanism as to how many concurrent trades you can execute. So this is helpful when you're trading with the entire amount. So let's say I have 100 US dollars in my account and I want to set the amount as 100 US dollars. Then in that case, at any given instance, I can only trade one opportunity at a time because all the funds are allocated to that trade, right? So if I set it to 25, and if I set the amount to 25 and I have $100 in my account, then I can trade four concurrent trades at a time, right? So this concurrency, you can set the concurrency value depending on the amount you have in your account and the amount size that you want to set in the bot. I'm just going to set it 25 and I'll leave it to one concurrency just to show you how this works. And then you need to put in your API key, secret key, and your passphrase. So on Bybit, you only had to set your API key and secret key, whereas with Kucoin, it's a bit more secure, or you could say it's a bit more restrictive. You need to put in, when you create an API key, you also generate a passphrase that goes along with the API key. You need to set the value here to be able to do the trades automatically. So I'm going to fill in these three fields and be right back. Before you start using the bot, a few things to keep in mind. Make sure your API keys are set to version 2. If you are creating a new set of keys, the version will automatically default to version 2. If that is not the case, I suggest you to create a new set of keys and make sure the version is set to version 2. And the other thing is, make sure you have a really good internet connection. This bot, it really runs on the edge of the resources. You're scanning the entire exchange to find the opportunities, so you really need good network speeds to run this bot. And the third one, again, I cannot emphasize this enough. I highly implore you to put IP restriction on your API keys, because this makes sure that even if the keys get into the wrong hands, they won't be able to exploit it because you have restricted access to a specific IP address. So just wherever you're running this bot, make sure only that server's IP address is whitelisted under your API keys. So that makes it really secure. All right, I filled in these fields and I'm going to disable it for now. I just want to see what the opportunities are, what the best results are. Just hit apply and the bot's going to reboot all the connections. So just give it a few seconds. Okay, so the best opportunity is 0.05%. Uh, I believe the trading fees for Kucoin is around 0.1%. So in an arbitrage, triangular arbitrage trade, you would have to do three consecutive trades, right? So that would result in a net fees of 0.3%. So I suggest you to trade, if you want to be profitable, then you need to take this into account. And when you set the profit threshold, maybe set it to a higher value like 0.5 or zero point 0.7, or whatever. Set a higher value that is inclusive of these fees, so that when the trade is executed, you're still in profit zone. Okay. Now the best entry I see is 0.05%. So I want to demonstrate a trade and show you how the bot works. So I'm just going to set it to zero point 0, let's say 0.05%. Okay. uh, Again, just for the demonstration purpose, so I'll just hit apply and it's going to reboot. Sorry, I just realized I didn't turn on the AutoTrader on. So you need to set it to enable for the bot to trade. I'm also reduced the profit to threshold to 0.04 because I see, you rarely get above this threshold. So I'll just hit apply and reboot all the connections. So just give it a few seconds. I see the best value is 0.03%. So let's see if it gets above 0.04% and we should see a trade. Awesome. So it went up 0.04%. We should see a pop-up here that a new trade got executed. Okay, a trade is in progress. That's why you see this message. Got awesome. So you can see that a new trade has been processed. You see these other pop-ups because we set the max total to 1, right? So there are some other opportunities that exceed this threshold, but we didn't enter them because we set the max total to 1. So that is what this pop-up means. Again, you can disable the bot. Uh, I'm just doing it for now because I want to show you how the trades look like. So if you go to the trades tab, uh, once you disable it, you'll stop seeing that pop-ups. If you go to the trades tab, you will see that the trade got executed. Let me walk you through this record. So you would start with USDT and perform a buy operation. So you set the trade amount to 25 US dollars, right? So out of 25 US dollars, a small fraction is left out. And this is again the case with Bybit exchange as well. So whenever you do a market order, a small fraction is left out at the beginning. I don't know why this happens, but this seems to happen for other exchanges too. So this is the amount you get in with, and this is the trading fees to convert your USDT to Litecoin. Okay, and the expected price was 82.34 that we found in the opportunity, whereas the real price at which the order got executed is 82.34. So it's the same as the expected price, so there's no deviation. But if the deviation is positive or negative, you would see it in right next to it. So if it's in red, it's the deviation is against our favor, but if it's in green, then the deviation is in our favor. So what do I mean by in our favor and against our favor? So if you're doing a buy operation, then you want the price, if the price is lower than the expected price, it's a good thing, right? Because you're buying at a lower price. Ideally, you want to buy low and sell high, right? So if you're buying lower than the expected price, this would turn green, and if not, it would look red. Similarly, if you're doing a sell operation, if you're selling at a higher price than the expected price, this would look green, and if not, it looks red. I hope that is clear. So once you do this operation, you would get 0.303619 Litecoin, and the duration of this entire trade is 3000 milliseconds. So it took around 3 seconds for this trade to execute. Again, this is something that I noticed with Bybit too. So in Bybit, some orders execute really quickly, like they execute in a few hundred milliseconds, whereas on Kucoin, I noticed that the orders take really long. You can see the first order took 3000 milliseconds, the second order took almost 4000 milliseconds, so 4 seconds, and another 2 seconds for the third order. So it took what, 4, 5, 6, it took around 9 seconds for this whole trade to execute, which is really long. So this is not, it's a really long time for 3 market orders to execute. So this could affect overall profitability, right? Because you want these orders to be executed as quickly as possible. Anyway, so that's how you get Litecoin, and then from Litecoin you would convert to Ethereum by doing a sell operation, and the output here would be the input for this transaction. So again, 0.303619, and these are the fees, and this is the expected price, and this is the real price. You can see again there's no deviation between them. This goes to show that the calculation that we are doing is really close to the real world, right? That's why we don't see that much deviation, which is good. Okay, and after this transaction you would get this much Ethereum, and again this is the duration for this trade, and then you would convert your Ethereum to USD Tether, and these are the transaction details, the fees and everything. Now, another distinction with the Bybit exchange is that on Bybit, the trading fees are incurred in quote currency when you do a buy operation, and base currency when you do a sell operation. Whereas on Kucoin, the trading fees are always incurred in base currency. So let me explain what I mean by that. So the first transaction, you're converting USDT to Litecoin, right? This is the trading pair. Litecoin USDT is the trading pair. If you look at the fees, they are incurred in USDT, which is the quote currency. Okay. Similarly, if you look at this transaction, this is Litecoin Ethereum, right? That's the pair, and you can see the trading fees are incurred in Ethereum because it's the quote currency. Similarly, here, the trading fees are incurred in USDT. So the trading fees are always incurred in the quote currencies, is what I'm trying to say for Kucoin. Okay. And once you do these trade transactions, this was the expected PNL, 0.03%, whereas the net PNL is negative 0.24%. So you can see it's about 0.3% less than the expected PNL, which is expected because you're deducting 0.3% trading fees from the expected PNL, because expected PNL does not take trading fees into account. So which is why when you set the threshold, you need to set it to a higher value to take trading fees into account. So that is how you interpret this row. So let me do one more trade. I will set the amount to, let's say, 50 US dollars, and let's just put it to 0.4%, and I want to show top 2 entries and hit enable. Let's hit apply. You see 0.04%, right? So I'll just set it to 0.5%, and let's hit apply. Okay, so when you see this message, that means ideally you should be seeing the trade executed message before that. Yeah, this message before that, but you've seen that it takes about 9 seconds for the transaction to execute, right? That is the reason, and you would see the trade miss notification, before the previous one got executed. So I'll just turn it off again, because we don't want to trade anymore. So if you go to the trades tab, you will see the new trade on the top. So the expected PNL was 0.02%, whereas the net PNL is 0.22%. And again, just read it in the same way. The first one, you convert your USDT to BNB, and yeah, the first one took one second to process, the second one took 4 seconds, and third one 1.5 seconds. So overall, about 6.5, 4, 5, yeah, 6.5 seconds which again it is really long in my opinion. Finally, like I mentioned earlier, the configuration and the trades, they're all stored in the database. So every time you start the bot and access it from the URL, you will see the data over here. So if you have been using the bot for a long time, you might see a long list of trades getting accumulated. So if you want to delete any unwanted trades, you just hit the delete icon and they will be wiped out from the database. So you can keep this list concise if you want to. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this bot, so I'm really excited to release this and can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions. So try it out. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. This is going to be my final video in the long list of triangular arbitrage videos that I've been doing for the last few months. So I really hope you enjoyed the series. And I think I've spent a considerable amount of time on this. I want to move away from this, and there are so many other topics that I want to make videos on.